viewers, and a warm welcome back to the Quarantine News. I do hope you are keeping well and safe from wherever you're tuning in. My name is Elizabeth Njoga. Now today we are having a continuation of our bulletin whereby we're looking, or rather examining, the coronavirus at a continental perspective, of which yesterday, the 14th of May, we covered Africa and Asia. We discussed the numbers, we discussed the number of recoveries. We also looked at the breakthrough treatments and the recovery and mortality ratio. Now today we'll be looking into the United States of America, and also we are looking into Europe as well. Now before we go into that, we'd just like to give you the current standings of the coronavirus cases around the globe. The cases are right now at 4.53 million. That is 4.53 million cases all around the globe. 213 countries are having the coronavirus within its borders. The number of deaths as of this morning, the 15th of May 2020, is at 304,000. That is 304,000 in fatalities. The recoveries may be up to 1 million. All right, first of all, we'd like to show you a table by the Johns Hopkins University in collaboration with the European CDC, that is European Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The table showing on your screen right now is by Johns Hopkins University in collaboration with European Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The dates are from the 23rd of January all the way to the current date, let's say 14th of May. We can see the volatility in the table whereby China was predominant at the beginning of the pandemic, when Italy had a sudden shoot and was the first European country to register great numbers in fatalities, followed by the likes of Spain and then France. As we can see, currently the UK is leading in Europe with unofficial figures of more than 40,000 deaths according to the European statistics. Now, Europe has quickly moved to green backlash reimposition, border controls, and pandemic accelerating tensions that could as well potentially unravel the European Union. We see there has been countries like France that have come up with vaccines which they intended to try out in Africa, in as much as at that time whereby France wanted to test their vaccines in Africa, France had already 6,700 deaths, and Africa as a continent had not recorded up to 10 deaths. We have seen in the UK, they have come up with a vaccine which they also wanted to test in the country Kenya, because they were thinking that they could not get the desired result within a specific amount of time with a specific ethnicity or age groups. And according to most European Union leadership, it's still early chapters of the COVID-19, therefore a little bit too early to judge the final outcome of the coronavirus as a pandemic. However, the whole world knows that Europe, or rather European Union, has always acted like they have an extra ammunition when it comes to calling shot on matters like global warming, world health, world economy, tightening the borders, and what have you. However, the number of coronavirus fatalities has brought that into question, and now many continents, or rather many countries that would have otherwise looked up to Europe when it comes to resolving their economic problems or having a say on their health issue, now it becomes not quite apparent that most of these countries would run into Europe, because Europe has not portrayed efficiency, in as much as it has viewed other continents as impotent when it comes to matters of leadership, when it comes to matters of economy, when it comes to matters of health and what have you. And now it becomes apparent that these other countries that have relied upon European Union may be as well doing better on their own, as we have seen most of the experts in France and in the UK and in Spain or even Italy, they have tried to collaborate with African researchers to develop a cure for the novel coronavirus. The unconfirmed sources also say that European Union is in talks with Israel is in talks with countries like Madagascar to approve of the COVID organics that was developed by the Malagasy Institute of Technology that has a 99% recovery rate as per the Malagasy Ministry of Health. Currently, the coronavirus fatalities in Europe is about 150,000. That is almost a half of the global fatalities from the novel coronavirus. This brings to question, what have all these breakthroughs that the European Union has broadcasted all across from the time that the coronavirus was declared a pandemic? The figures are quite scary, the figures are quite high that have not been registered in any other continent so far. Also to mention, in Europe, the recovery rate is not convincing, it's not attractive at all. And in some countries, let's say like UK, the recovery scale has been left as null because it is negligible actually in terms of the number of cases and fatalities. Now, moving on to the United States. Currently, the United States has about 1.5 million cases. The number of deaths are at 86,000. The recoveries fairly at over 100,000. This is pretty much a third of the global figures in terms of the number of confirmed cases and also the number of deaths. Now, the good thing about the United States of America, it has resigned and did not conceal the fact that they are actually struggling with containing the coronavirus as a pandemic and as a disease. In fact, today, the 15th of May, the House is about to vote on a bill of $3 trillion to help in the coronavirus relief, of which they are also expectant that the White House is going to apply its veto legislation to give out these funds to help the local and the county governments to suppress the coronavirus spread within its cities. This virus has in many ways humbled many countries that had a very good standing on the table of the World Health Organization League, and now there is going to be reorganization of the league table based on how the countries have handled these difficult times of coronavirus. I believe it's also going to come to play which countries have held or contained the coronavirus among its people, the recovery rate, and which ones have also tried to handle the GDP and not let it drop by a big margin. The United States has different interests at the moment whereby coronavirus is still on the table and is still a menace on the table. However, they are looking into enhancing ties with the Indian military so that they can put China into accountability or take accountability for the novel coronavirus. This is not the first case that we have had. In the month of March, there was a lawyer that sued the Chinese President Xi Jinping for $10 trillion over the damages that has been caused by the novel coronavirus. The same suit has been followed by the Hungarian president. We have seen the Turkish president Erdogan also follow the same suit. It is quite apparent in most countries that aside from containing the novel coronavirus, they're rather more interested in punishing the Chinese government for suppressing the information at the infancy of the novel coronavirus. They would rather get monetary returns on monetary compensation as opposed to the lives of those which have been lost due to the deadly coronavirus. Thank you for tuning in with us here at the Quarantine News. I have been your presenter. My name is Elizabeth Njoga, and please look out for our edition on Latin America, Canada's and Australia's in the coming bulletin. Do have a great afternoon.